All right, we're live.
Hey,
I know.
so glad to be here with everybody. The Daily Antidote of Song today here. Hello to all of our folks joining us on Facebook and those of us here in the Zoom room. We are celebrating this week work and workers in the spirit of solidarity in the wake of May 1st, May Day. This is a special week co-hosted by the Labor Heritage Foundation. Elise Bryant here with us, the executive director of the Labor Heritage Foundation. I'm Joe Jencks, and I'm just a rank and file working musician, but I'm very proud to be connected to the Labor Heritage Foundation. They host a gathering every year called the Great Labor Arts Exchange that all of you can get involved with if you want to, and Elise will talk more about that as we go. But so great to be here with you today, pinch hitting for Joe Rossi, who's been doing this for, over a year now. So forgive me if I make a few mistakes or miss a few names because, she's got this down. She's a pro, but, I'm learning. So Katie running tech today. Katie, thank you so much for joining us. And Elise Bryant, of course. And our guest, Peggy Seeger, thanks for joining us from the UK. Glad to have you here. The Amadons are here. They sang a song on May 1st as part of the celebration May Day. Aloysius, Barbara, great to see you. Becky K, Deborah D, great to see you. Susan, busy, great to see you again. Annie in Victoria, BC. Trish in Victoria. Al, great to have you here. Carol in Connecticut. Jim, good to see you. Susan McNellis, who's going to be leading a song for us tomorrow, among other things, a member of the DC Labor Courts. Glad to have you here. Sheila in Florida, great to see you here. Dennis from Victoria, tied in with the community choir up there. Glad to have you. Karen in Oregon. Arlene, great to see you. Kevin, Pete and Janet in Toronto, great to have you back. Bob, Sarah, Bonnie, great to see you here. Thanks for all the notes, by the way. Bob and Christiana, Doug in Vermont, Dion, apologies if I got that wrong. So great to see all of you here. More folks from Victoria, Caroline and Jamie D, good to see you. Barb in Virginia, Sarah Page in Texas, Nancy N, the cow, yes, the amazing Irish curly-haired cow. Lisa, Kathy in Virginia, Harriet in Illinois, Fred, part of the DC Labor Corps, so glad to see you here. Ken and Nancy in Vermont, Randy, Terry, Tom, and Victoria. Victoria represents today, that's great. Martha in Oregon, Gary, Lynn, Harriet again, Aloysius. I think my screens are getting mixed up, but great to greet many of you multiple times. And there's many of you joining us sans screen, but so glad that you're with us here today. So glad that you're connected to us and hanging out with us. And so grateful to be here with Peggy Seeger as our guest in this week when we celebrate work and workers and the spirit of solidarity. Peggy, thanks so much for joining us.
Well, I love coming to these. I really do. It's such a treat. And hello to old friends. Hello to new friends. Uh, and we actually recognize each other. That's wonderful, isn't it? I very nearly didn't put a little bit of cover on my face. I thought I'd let you see the wild woman of Oxford, but I had a look in the mirror and I thought I can't do that to my friends.
Ah, we would take you in any state you were in, Peggy.
Oh, don't believe it. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. But the sun is actually shining here. Can you see the stripe down the wall in the back?
Yeah,
The sun is shining. Yeah, marvelous.
that's great. That's great. Well, you have a song that you would love to share with us today and to teach us.
Well, it's I think I'm gonna we're putting the words up in the chat box. Yes, is that
Yes, indeed.
happen? Yeah, I'd like to do that. And it helps me. It reminds me of something that I once knew. Um, I wrote this song just shortly after you and McCall died. I wrote it for a huge strike that was happening in England, and it was at a large hall, very large hall, and to hear the audience try to grab this chorus, it's like an Escher staircase. This chorus, it really is. It goes round and round, and it goes like this. The chorus. If you want a better life, you gotta make a change. And if you want to make a change, you need a union too. And if you want a union, you gotta learn to fight. Because when you've got a union, you gotta make it fight for you. Okay, well, you're lucky ones. That audience didn't have something to read. You do. So it goes like, I'll sing it, and then you sing along with me. If you want a better life, you gotta make a change. 3, 4. If you want a better life, you gotta make a change. Now, same tune, different words. And if you want to make a change, you need a union too. Oh, it is slightly different. And if you want to make a change, you need a union too. Both lines. If you want a better life, you gotta make a change. And if you want to make a change, you need a union too. And if you want a union, you gotta learn to fight. And if you want a union, you gotta learn to fight. Because when you got a union, you gotta make it fight for you. Would anybody mind if I took the key down a half tone? My voice is going down to my boots. Yeah. If you want a better life, you gotta make a change. And if you want to make a change, you need a union too. And if you want a union, you gotta learn to fight. Because when you've got a union, you gotta make it fight for you. Sitting in the barroom, head in your hands, trouble hard to talk to someone. Yes, you need a friend. Trouble at the factory, trouble on the line. Tell it to the union, it's the best friend you can find. And if you want a better life, you gotta make a change. And if you want to make a change, you need a union too. And if you want a union, you gotta learn to fight. Because when you've got a union, you gotta make it fight for you. Sitting in the canteen when your shift is done, trouble in your life now, yes, you need someone. Changing regulations, trouble on the ward, take it to the union, it's what you got that union for. And if you want a better life, you gotta make a change. And if you want to make a change, you need a union too. And if you want a union, you gotta learn to fight. Because when you got a union, you gotta make it fight for you. Do we stand united? Do we divide and fall? Is it one for one now, or is it all for all? Put the screws on your trouble spot and use the union. It's the useful tool we've got. And if you want a better life, you gotta make a change. And if you want to make a change, you need a union too. And if you want a union, you gotta learn to fight. Because when you got a union, you gotta make it fight for you. That's where it used to end, this song. And then one of the big unions voted against something having to do with cutting fossil fuels, and I put another verse on the end. Better wages and conditions, is that all we need? What about the food we eat and the air we breathe? If you want your union to make a better life, you better make your union help to keep this world alive. And if you want a better life, you gotta make a change. And if you want to make a change, you need a union too. And if you want a union, you gotta learn to fight. Because when you got a union, you gotta make it fight for you. At present, the issue I'm working on is saving 2 green fields from housing in the place where I live. This is a small village, and it's enclosed within Oxford. Oxford has just swarmed around it with housing for the last 60 years. And the little village has already given 16 acres of its land to housing, which we don't need now, but which Oxford is aiming to try and get more people to Oxford to make us a big city, God help us. And so they want the last 4 acres that we've got. And so I'm part of that. So I was standing next to a guy looking at this beautiful field with the tree in the middle of it. I'll give you the website in a minute. And I'm saying, oh, you could sign a petition. He says, oh, I don't live here. I said, well, you do now. He says, what do you mean? I said, well, you've just breathed some Oxford air and you've breathed some CO2 out into Oxford. And here we're trying to save a field that makes more oxygen for you. So you're a citizen here. So it's the whole fight to get people to realize that we don't all have our own little funnel of oxygen up to the sky that's ours, you know. Final chorus. If you want a better life, you gotta make a change. And if you want to make a change, you need a union too. And if you want a union, you gotta learn to fight. Because when you got a union, you gotta make it fight for you. Yeah, I heard you. I heard you. I heard you. So if you want to breathe a little of our Oxford oxygen, get your pencils out. The website is ifleywooods.org. ifleywoods.org. Just sign the petition. We're trying to get up to 10,000 because then we can take it to a different kind of court. Yeah, we're having a good time. We have a great committee. Fantastic. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you, Peggy. One of the things that I wanted to mention, of course, a lot of people first came into your music in part because of your song, Gonna Be an Engineer. And that opened up a lot of ideas when you wrote that song and put it in the world. And of course, a lot of people know your music from the Spring Hill Mine disaster and your commemoration of that in song. But one of the things that strikes me most about your work as a songwriter, as an artist, as an activist, is that you keep creating new material. You keep looking forward, and you're not resting on laurels. You're constantly engaging the world around you, and to that end, you have a brand new album out. It's called The First Farewell. Is that right?
Yeah. I used to sing a lot of really very direct protest songs, and one of the direct protest songs have a wonderful purpose. When you're all on the union line, on the picket line, or you're at a demonstration, everybody can sing it together. But the people who are there are already they're committed. And it's one of the things that protest singers, their arrows and slings get thrown at us. You're singing to people who are already converted. I think that's important, really important. It brings us all together, makes us sing together and feel that there's other people. We're not just in this on our own. But more recently, especially with the kinds of things that are being dealt with now, people have to realize that one issue is tied to another. It's all a link of existence. That's what the whole climate change thing is. And human beings along our level of understanding, you can't just batter people who are sitting on the fence with protest songs. I have a song which I think I've sung here before, and it has a very important verse in it that relates to how I write songs today, and that is that those of us who are, say, at level P, and we're talking to people who are at level L or F or A in their understanding of where we are in the battle to make things better. You have to move people gradually. You can't just say, look, believe what I believe. You have to do this. You can't say that. You need to talk to L people as if it's M or N, or P to P people as if it's Q or R. So it had a verse in it, this song. But went like this. Choose your issue and choose your place. Time to be moving on. Choose your level and choose your pace. Time to be moving on. The ship's in trouble, needs a brand new crew. Mother Earth needs me and you. She'll welcome any little thing we do. Time to be moving, moving, moving. Time to be moving on. So it's everybody doing whatever they feel comfortable with and then moving ahead to something else. And that's what I'm doing in First Farewell. You know, ask me a question, I'll go back and tell you the history of my life. So trying to help myself to understand the correlation of one issue with another, how a boy committing suicide, a teenage boy committing suicide, how does that fit in with a song called How I Long for Peace? How does Tree of Love fit in with two people sitting across the table and talking on their cell phones instead of to each other? It's all part of a piece, not little bits and pieces. So that's what I'm trying to do, is tie things together.
That's beautiful. Thanks for sharing a little bit with us about the ethos behind your most recent album. And of course, folks can look for that on your website. Elise Bryant is co-host here this week and representing for the Labor Heritage Foundation. And there's so much great music, including many of your songs, that I never would have heard, or at least not in a timely fashion, had it not been for the Great Labor Arts Exchange and the Labor Heritage Foundation and the work that they do. And their annual gathering is coming up. Elise, do you want to talk a little bit about why music is important to organizing and why creativity gives us something unique and how folks can get involved?
Right. Well, I'll take off on what Peggy also said. One of the things that we know about music is it's the only human activity that happens in both hemispheres of the brain. So when we sing and we engage in music, both hemispheres light up. And it's how Gabby Gifford learned to speak again after having brain injury from being shot. The representative from Arizona they got her singing. Her sister got her singing. The music therapist said, "Oh my gosh!" And she was able to do what doctors thought was impossible, was to create new neural pathways. So we do that all the time. Whenever we got this is Daily Antidote. When we're all singing together with you, Peggy, we're doing that. We're lighting up neural pathways in both hemispheres of the brain. And the Great Labor Arts Exchange is simply that times 100 people or 200 people. Last year, our first time online, not only did we have a little over 200 people, but we also have people from Canada and Mexico, as well as all around the United States. And if you come this year, Peggy, then because we have England. There's also the UK is represented.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely.
It'd be great.
There's a book out now called The Musical Human.
Uh-huh.
Everybody should read it, whether they're into music or not. Music is so, so important. It's called The Musical Human.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wonderful book. It talks about how necessary music is to us.
Great. And I'll put the link in for the Arts Exchange as well. But I have a question for you, Peggy. And that is that, Joe was like focusing, okay, we know we're gonna be an engineer. That's the past, but here's the present. Here we are right now. And one of the things that I have to say from the moment you came on, but also when we were doing the warm-up check-in, sound check, is that your voice is in great condition.
Oh, for my age, yes.
No, not for your age. I had a voice teacher who said to me, you really can maintain your voice all of your life. And you're proof of that. And so I want to know how you do that. What have you done?
I've dropped my range down to my boots.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, that's going to be...
I can still sing high,
uh-huh.
but I have trouble getting across that bit in the middle. I sing every day. I sing and play every day for an hour and a half. Yes. I just sit down, and as I walk around the house, as I do ironing, cleaning, walking, and I can tell you some very funny stories about that. People think you're nuts, if you're an old lady walking along singing. So singing every day and singing out. One thing that astounds me is that the memory of the songs is so automatic. I can be singing Got no time to be standing here gossiping, got no time to be answering. The beds need making, the dishes need washing, and then to be dusting and polishing, scrubbing and sweeping and sewing and cleaning and cooking and ironing. Are you listening? I'm a production line all by myself, only my wages are missing. I could be singing that, and I can be writing out the shopping list at the same time. And I could also be, doing some of my physical exercises. Music just, it fills you. It fills you. And once you memorize something, it sticks with you. So that's what Gabi was probably bringing up to the top, Yes, exactly. Something that was already there that maybe she'd put aside.
Mhm.
So it doesn't matter what you sing, just sing something, and something that's a bit out of your range or just a little louder than you normally would. And then it's so much fun to sing. Even if you're singing some of those ballads in which most of the people are dead at the end. So
I'm so repressing myself from saying yeah, because Joe
yeah,
told us we can't be doing the yeah, yeah. So
yeah,
I'll go back on mute.
yes.
I also find that singing in the shower, not to be cliche, but singing where there's all that wonderful moisture, sort of helps me get the voice kick-started in the mornings. That's a good thing to do. Peggy, there's two things I wanted to mention. One, there's a second song that you shared with me via email that you said you might be willing to play for us today, and I wanted to invite you to do that if you want to. And I also wanted to acknowledge that you come from a very talented family, and you have a sibling group that are 2 of 1, all very engaged and interesting people. And of course, one of them had a birthday yesterday, Pete.
Yes, yes. And my sister is 84 today.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
Wow.
the one sibling I have left. Yeah. I'm
Mm.
talking to her just shortly after we finish. Well, it's a big family. There's about 150 of us identifiable at the moment, and music does play a really big part. But the thing is, with family, I've been fortunate enough that my kids and my grandchildren are in music. 5 of my grandchildren are in bands, and my 2 sons and one of my daughter-in-laws are on this album. It's an it's a pleasure. It's a total pleasure. We work very well together. There's no battling, none of that. Oh, I've just seen how long your hair really is. Wowie, that's beautiful. Oh gosh, oh, that's lovely. Is that the natural color, Joe? I can't hear you. You're muted.
It is, in fact, what's left of the natural color. Perhaps my reticence to cut it off because everything that's coming in here is silver and gray.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. You're a rainbow. Yeah. So family can, there's more people in the ballads who are blood related, blood flows thicker than water. And it sure flows a lot in the folk songs. But in our family, we don't seem to have any feuds, any fights, any old grudges or bad memories. It's rather wonderful. It's rather wonderful. And having said that, you've seen the sun has gone in behind me. Oh, we treasure the sun over here. But yeah, and bless Pete and Mike. I just miss them so much. But most of my family, the family that remember me when I was young, they're gone. Yeah. But never mind, I'm going to see them soon. So there you are.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm the youngest of 7 children in my family, and I do sometimes wonder what it will be like to not be able to share the memories in the same way with
That's
people
the
who
hardest
lived
thing, Joe.
through the
That really
experiences.
is hard. That really is hard. Share them while they're around, Yeah, and write them down. Your grandchildren may not be interested, but they will be interested later.
Beautiful.
Well,
Yeah, one can only hope. So, do you want to sing another song for us, or do you want to go
actually,
back to the one we started with,
well,
or both? We have
uh,
time.
we could sing the chorus of the other one, but I chose a song you may not have heard. There was an awful lot of collecting of songs in the 30s and 40s and 50s. by members of my family and people whose names I remember from childhood, but hardly knew at all. And this one was collected in 1946 by George Corson. And he put it in a fantastic book, the name of which I can't remember at the moment, but one of you folkies will remember that. And I use folkies complimentarily, not referring to brown rice and sandals or things like that. So the song was made by, it was recorded in the Newkirk Tunnel Mine in Tamaqua, Pennsylvania, or Tamaqua, however it's pronounced. And it was sung with good humor by Albert Morgan. It's an excellent example of the way the folk kind of reflect their songs in the various phases of their life. He was obviously an immigrant who his first language was not English. And it's almost like an economist's report, this. It's only five verses long. And it's got a chorus that goes, Union man, he must have full dinner can, AFL-CIO, call and strike, and out she go. Union man, he must have full dinner can. Try it again. Union man, he must have full dinner can, AFL-CIO, call and strike, and out she go. Try the whole thing. Union man, he must have full dinner can, AFL-CIO, call and strike, and out we go. I think I sing that little song. I hope I say it nothing wrong. Hope my song will bring you cheer, just like a couple of shots of beer. Union man, he must have full dinner can, AFL-CIO, call and strike, and out we go. I'm drinking too much beer last night. To go to work, I don't feel right. In my can, some bread and meat. I'm too damn sick, I cannot eat. Union man, he must have full dinner can, AFL-CIO, call and strike, and out we go. I fire shot at 10 o'clock, tumble brushes full of rock, timber falling on my head, jeepers cripes, I think I'm dead. Union man, he must have full dinner can, AFL-CIO, call and strike, and out we go. Now it mentions Mr. Lewis. I think he was head of the American Federation of Labor. Yeah, John Lewis, yeah. We all get contracts, she expire. Mr. Lewis mad like fire. Miners striking too much time. Uncle Sam take over mines. Union man, he must have full dinner can, AFL-CIO, call and strike, and out we go. This is the best verse. We sign in contract, we get raise after striking 20 days. Butcher comes and ringing bell, raises prices, what the hell? Union man, he must have full dinner can, AFL-CIO, call and strike, and out we go. You know, there are small songs. I want to do something, just one that you may not have heard. It is very short. You didn't do no wrong. You didn't do no crime. You give away your young life to slavery in the mine. Slavery in the mine. Our children, they was hungry. They had no shoes to wear. Our children, they was dying and no one seemed to care. No one seemed to care. I'll go join the union. These was the words you said. I knew they'd bring you back to me. lying cold and dead, lying cold and dead. Go tell the sheriff, tell his gunmen too, the reason my life is broke is 'cause they've murdered you, 'cause they've murdered you. Yeah, so is that a protest song? Is it? These are so important, and they're classed as primitive, they're childlike, they're simple, and you know, Bartok and what's his name, the fellow who took all of the tunes and made symphonies out of them. They can call them embryonic music, but the embryo hides in the womb, and that's where we're at. You know. Yeah. Thanks, Elise. Yeah. That's yours is the picture I can see at the moment. I see this hairy man at the moment. It's just lovely.
That's beautiful. It absolutely is a labor song. Howard Zinn, the historian, said that, history books give us the stories of kings and conquerors and captains of industry, but it's folk music that preserves the story of the people. And that is a song that captures something so deep in the heart that comes out of a particular perspective, but it gives us a window both into humanity and history. And thanks for sharing that with us.
He did a good job himself too, in a different field. Howard Zinn, fantastic historian, absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Elise, do you have any other questions for Peggy?
I do. I have lots of questions for Peggy, but my lawnmower guy showed up, and I can't close the windows, or else I'm going to have to leave the screen. So I just want to give thanks for the opportunity to be here and for your singing with us and sharing sharing light and love and wisdom and song.
Well, I'm not wise. I'm not wise. No, I'm a loose cannon. It's just I know where to aim it.
Well, you can call it loose cannon. I can call it wise, but we're talking about the same thing, sister. You've been around. This ain't your first rodeo, and you know what's up.
Thank you, Elise, and thank you for your work.
I'm so sorry you're so far away, but okay, I'll get over it.
Well, this is as close as I am to some of my friends here, So this, and they don't listen as good as you do.
That's great. Well, how about we cycle back and sing the chorus of that song that we started with a couple of times, just to wrap up for today.
Okie dokie.
And again, for those of you who may have joined us late, Peggy has a brand new album out, First Farewell. And I encourage you to go to her website and look that up. And she's also very involved in a number of issues of activism, both locally where she is in Oxford and nationally and internationally. And she talks about all that in her newsletter. If you're not on her newsletter, I encourage you to subscribe. It's a wonderful thing.
Actually, if you go to Bandcamp, to my section on Bandcamp, you can get an actual digital copy a physical copy from me. And if you order it on Bandcamp, you also get a digital download. If you order the physical one, you get a free digital download of the album. So do that.
Beautiful. Thanks so much for joining us, Peggy.
Okay, here we go. If you want a better life, you gotta make a change. And if you want to make a change, you need a union too. And if you want a union, you gotta learn to fight. Because when you got a union, you gotta make it fight for you. Didn't hear you, so let's do it again. If you want a better life, you gotta make a change. And if you want to make a change, you need a union too. And if you want a union, you gotta learn to fight. Because when you got a union, you gotta make it fight for you. And thank you all. Thank you all. Okay, keep safe. Keep safe.
Will do. Thanks so much. Thanks to Joe Rossi and the Daily Antidote of Song, Carpe Diem Arts, the Labor Heritage Foundation, our Executive Director, Elise Bryant, with us today. Thanks so much for being here. Peggy, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure
Just
always.
just a delight to have you here. And with that, we'll wind down today. But I want to mention that the Labor Heritage Week is continuing. Susan McNellis tomorrow and Lucy Murphy on Thursday. Wyra Forster on Friday, Peter and Steve Jones on Saturday, and Maria Dunn from Canada on Sunday, all leading wonderful songs for us.
Could I say something? I saw something about $50 being sent to me or something like that. Is that right? Or is that
If you want it, it's yours.
Well,
If you'd rather direct it somewhere else, we can
I
do
want
that
to
too.
direct it right back to where it came from.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Peggy.
Okay. Bye.
Sister. Take care. I'll see
Yes.
you on the path.
Yes. Bye.
Indeed. And again, thanks to Katie Abadou for doing a great job on our tech here. Really appreciate that. Thanks to the Amadons for joining us. Barbara and Graham, thanks for being here. Deborah D, Susan G, Carol J, Connecticut, Jim H, thanks for joining us. Susan McNellis, we'll see you tomorrow leading a song. Sheila in Florida. Dennis up in Victoria, thanks so much. Karen in Oregon. Arlene, Peter and Janet, Toronto, thanks so much. Bob, Bonnie, Bob out in Maryland, thank you. All right, well, now it gets harder. Now, here's where Joe's practiced at this, and I'm not, because now your faces are bouncing around the screen, and I can't tell who I said goodbye to or not. I did not yet say goodbye to the cow. Nancy, thanks for, not that you're the cow, let's be clear, but your image of this great Irish curly cow. Thanks so much for being here. Carolyn and James and Victoria, Sarah in Texas, Fred, part of the DC Labor Chorus, thanks for all your work. Martha in Oregon, Tom in Victoria, BC. So many people here bouncing around. Mabel and Bob and Betsy, Karen in Utah, Kate in Charlottesville, Brian, thanks so much for joining us. Anne, L, Gary, this is great. This is so amazing. I don't know how Joe does this fast. She's like, it's a superpower for her that she's figured out how to do Donna and Storm, and just so great to have all of you here. Sarah, Linda's phone, thanks for joining us. Cricket, great for being here. Annette, Al, playing along there, still singing If You Want a Better Life. You got to work for it. Work with the unions. Elise Witt, so good to see you. Yay. And Lisa, Becky, Harriet, Donna, all of you joining us on Facebook. Thanks for being here with us today. And we'll sign off on Facebook Live now, but please join us again tomorrow for the next installation of Labor Heritage Week here with the Daily Antidote of Song. And again, a huge thanks to Carpe Diem Arts, to the Washington Rebels for kicking this thing off during the pandemic, and to Joe Rossi for wrangling this three-ring circus. We'll
Katie,
talk to you soon.
thank you, Katie.
Hey, yeah.